Greetings, fellow Americans. Welcome to Fireside Chats, State of Our Nation. I am your host, Susanna Tanner, candidate for House of Representatives 2026 and President 2028. We are going to talk about our national law enforcement and law enforcement training reform today. Most of us, most of us know peace officers as cops, right? So it seems to me that it seems to me that across our nation, cops need some improvements to their training and the ability to handle their position as a peace officer, because that's literally what they are, peace officers. So we can have a National Law Enforcement Training Center. The training provided at this facility should be adequate enough to serve our nation's communities' needs. It would provide improved training for violent situations, as well as a base level of knowledge in psychology. This will definitely improve training responses and in general responses to situations that officers encounter on a regular basis. By improving training for peace officers, we are increasing the chances of officers effectively protecting our communities from those who become violent. It increases the chances of effective protection. Okay. Without adrenaline-based excessive force or loss of life. I think that sounds pretty good. This is intense training. This is something that our nation needs to have for our peace officers, for our cops, so that we have less incidences like officers beating down an innocent man for simply existing. We've seen that happen actually quite a few times in the last few years. Unfortunately, it shows that we need these improvements in training. Improvements in training will also help officers better handle traumatic situations within our communities. They experience trauma just like any other person does. Our military experiences trauma. We have to have, training to be able to handle these situations. Improvements mean setting standards for how certain situations are handled across the nation, across communities. Improvements mean setting the standard for how those situations are handled. We can utilize in our training recent historical events to improve the training of officers, to improve the results of that training. Within this type of training would be discussions between the instructor and cadets to indicate their knowledge of better handling of those situations and potential situations that could come up. Training should include de-escalation and improve the basics of that de-escalation for all officers, and intense practice. The reason I say intense practice is because without that practice, there's less of a chance of success for de-escalation. The facility itself, the law enforcement training facility, would also be an employment hub for placement and assignment throughout the United States. So graduates would be able to sign up for their desired locations and obtain experience in other locations before actually going to their location, their desired location. They would be gaining specific knowledge of local laws in the process and how they differ between communities. There is another issue to improve upon, and that is accountability. If we, the people, are going to say that no one is above the law, or even that justice must be served, then it is important for us to reflect those values in our regulations, our laws, our votes, etc. Our agencies, like our police departments, the CIA, ICE, and others, all of those three-letter anagrams, should reflect on those values in their regulations and practice. We, the people, can change what needs to be changed. One way is to work for the government. Not everybody's going to want to do that. We could also, as a nation, make our voices heard, and we do to a certain degree, but it's not necessarily loudly enough. It's going to take quite a bit for us to improve these things, but we can do it. We can do it as a nation. We can do it as a one large community. We can and we should get together to make these important changes happen. It's important for our community members to voice their thoughts and comments on anything that we change. And I've actually seen recently in Vancouver even that the cities do involve their constituents. Right now, Vancouver is going through a planning phase for its development, for the city's development. And now there is an open period where the public can make comments. It's really important for us to make those comments. We are responsible for our city if we're going to live here. That's just kind of how it ends up falling anyway. So making sure that we have the improvements that we need for our nation, that is going to be one of the most important things that we can establish for ourselves. Now, I am presenting different suggestions, but ultimately it is up to the people. The suggestions that I give out are meant to help improve all of us, improve all of our agencies, our government, improve our livelihoods, improve our economy. That is everything that I'm suggesting. One of the issues that I've seen here recently is that there are some phases that are not of any development, of any improvements, that are not always relayed to the public. Not everyone hears about them. So it's important for us to think about how we can improve communication. What would be better ways to communicate with the public on in law enforcement training, on city development training, city development at all. There's definitely different avenues that we can take for these things. It's important for everyone to give input. Anyone who wants to, anyway. So if you do have some input that you would like to give regarding the most recent suggestion for our law enforcement training, please do so in the comments. You can also send an email to Susanna Tanner Susanna Tanner at SusannaForPresident.com. I'll make sure that that's in the comments and such. That is all I have for today. Thank you for your time, and may our path lead to peace and prosperity. Like this content and want to leave a tip? Scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen, or head to my website and scroll to the bottom of any page to access the tip jar QR code link.